Welcome back everyone, my name is Abdullah Gori from Alpha Technology, and in this video we will continue our web designing course series. In this video we will talk about what is HTML and what is the basic structure of HTML. In this video we will also download Visual Studio Code IDE to write our HTML code. So without any further delay, let's start our video. So first of all, we will learn that what is HTML. HTML stands for Hypertext Markup Language. So it is a language which is hypertext markup language. HTML used for creating the structure or building blocks of the website. So let's say we have a website. In the website we have some blocks, like a small blocks is created by the HTML, like structure of the website and blocks of the website are created by HTML, and then we use CSS to style them, and we use JavaScript to make our website functional. HTML is not a programming language. Many beginners or many people thinks that HTML is a programming language, but it's not true. The truth is that HTML is just a hypertext markup language, not a programming language. And HTML is not a case sensitive language. If you write in lowercase or uppercase letter, it will be okay for HTML, but in the programming language you need to care about the lowercase and uppercase letters. After that, HTML consists of tags. Tags elements surrounded by angular brackets. So we have tags. So we write the tags in the angular brackets, like less than and greater than sign. Inside these signs we write tags. Normally tags comes in pair of start tag and end tag. Usually we have two tags, a start tag and end tag. In the tag, in between the tag, we write our content. End tag is also same as start tag, but we only put a / before starting an end tag. Now there are some tags which are self-closing tags, so we don't need to close them. We will see the example later. After that, HTML tags may or may not have attributes. Attributes are special properties related to the HTML tags. So every tag will have their own properties. We will talk about them in this video. HTML is used to link multiple web pages. Through HTML we can link multiple web pages. Like you have seen that we have a website, then we can click on home page, about page, so we will be redirected to that page. So through HTML we can create a link of multiple web pages, so we can navigate through all the pages. Now this is the basic structure of HTML. So at the top you can see the HTML tag is start. So this is known as start tag. At the end we have HTML tag close. So we are closing the HTML tag. So almost every tag has start tag and end tag, but there are some tags which don't have any end tag, which are known as self-closing tags. So let's talk about start tag first. So the start tag are which is highlighted in yellow color. So these are all known as start tag. After that we'll have end tags which are highlighted in green color. So the tags that are highlighted in green color are end tags. So you can see that when we write start tag we don't have any /, but in the end tag we have a /. So after that we have some self-closing tag which is highlighted in red color, which is BR in this case. So BR, we don't need to close this BR tag because this is a self-closing tag. Now what is attributes? So attribute, as I said, a special property of the tag. So in this case we have attribute align center, which is highlighted in sky blue color. So this is the basic structure of HTML. So in the title we write the title of the web page, and H1 stands for heading tag. In the H1 we write the title or big heading for our website content. After that we have some paragraph tag like P tag, in which we can write paragraphs. We will see the example of all the tags in the upcoming videos. Now you have seen the definition and a basic structure of HTML. Now it's time to write the HTML code. Now the good thing is that you can write HTML code in Notepad, Notepad++, Visual Studio Code Editor, Atom or Sublime Text Editor. you can use any text editor to write HTML code. So for this course we are going to be using Visual Studio Code because it's provide a lot of flexibility and it's provide a lot of extension to use to format our code, and there are very helpful extension in Visual Studio Code. So I prefer and I highly recommend you to also use Visual Studio Code, but again you can use Notepad or any text editor whatever you want. So to download Visual Studio Code we need to type VS Code download and we need to search it, and after that you will click on this link. After that it will open up the download page for Visual Studio Code. Now here you can see that it is providing 3 download options for Linux operating system, Windows operating system and Mac operating system. Now I have Windows, so I will download it for Windows. If you have Linux or Mac you can download it for that as well. So if you have 64-bit system you will go for this link, otherwise you will select 32-bit. So I have 64-bit system, so I will select this thing, and after that it will start downloading Visual Studio Code. So it is saying thank you for downloading VS Code for Windows, and it will install downloading right here. You can see it is downloading, but I will not download it because I have already installed Visual Studio Code, but you need to download it. After downloading Visual Studio Code, just open up the setup file and then click on next, 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 and this download will be installed. If you have any question or problem in the downloading and installing Visual Studio Code, you can comment down below, and also I will provide the link to download Visual Studio Code in the description section below. So after downloading Visual Studio Code, you will open up Visual Studio Code and the starting interface of Visual Studio Code will look like this. Now the first thing that you need to do, you need to click on this new file, and then the first thing that we will save this file, and you can save it anywhere. I will save it on my desktop. I will create a new folder on my desktop, so I will right click on this and new, and here folder, and I will name this web designing course. I will open up this folder and here I will save this file. So I will save this as name of introduction.html. The important thing is that you need to write .html as an extension of HTML file. Whether you are using Notepad, Notepad++ or any text editor, it is must that you need to write .html after your file name. So we will save this file, and after that here we are ready to write the HTML code. Now let's start writing code. So first of all, if you add this angular bracket, if you type HTML, you can see it is automatically providing you the hints in the drop down. So Visual Studio Code will help you to learn web designing. So here we will say HTML. Another thing is that you can see it is automatically closing the tags. So it's a really powerful tool. Now here after HTML we have another tag which is head tag. So we'll say head, it will automatically close, but if you are using Notepad or any other text editor, it may or may not close the tags automatically. So if it is not closing automatically, you can close it by your own. So after that I will type the title tag, and here I will type the title as Alpha Technology. After that we will come down, and here we will start the body tag. In the body tag we will write the content of our website. So for now I just say hello world. Okay, so that's all. This is the basic structure of HTML file. So now we will go here, and you can see this is our HTML file. We just need to double click on this, and you can see our HTML file is created and our first home page is created there. Whatever we have typed in the title, you can see it here. So the title is Alpha Technology. So whatever title you type, it will be shown right here, and this is the text that you have written in the body tag. Okay, so after that we have some text in the body tag, so we can apply some text right there. Let's talk about some text, but in the upcoming videos we will deeply expand or explore all the HTML tags. So let's see an example of H1 tag. So we have H1 tag, and then we will close H1, and here we'll say welcome to web designing course for beginners. Okay, so this is our heading. So now what we need to do, we need to go back in our browser, and here we just need to refresh it. So you can see our heading is displayed right here. So we will go here, and there is another tag which is P tag. So you can directly just type P and hit enter, it will automatically become a tag. But I highly recommend you to type the tag name by yourself, because you are new, and if you type it by yourself, then you can remember it for long time. So here I will write a paragraph about our course. So here we'll say, in this course you will learn everything you need to know to become a highly paid professional web designer. Okay. So after writing this, we need to save it. So we will press Ctrl S to save. For the Mac, you need to press Command S, and after that we will go here and we will click on this refresh button, or you can press F5, and boom, you can see that your paragraph is also written there. So this is how you can create your first web page in HTML. The point to be remembered is that the main thing that is you need to remember is that you must need to create your HTML file with the extension of .html. After typing the name of your file, you need to type .html. So otherwise your page will be a text file, it will not be a HTML file. So it will not show anything in the browser. Welcome back everyone, my name is Abdullah Gori from Alpha Technology, and in this video we will continue our web designing course series. In this video we will talk about all the HTML tags that are specifically related to text elements. In this video we will try to cover all the text which are used for text. So first of all, we need to create a HTML file. We just need to click on this new file, and then we need to save our file. So I have created my folder on the desktop. So this is the folder web designing course. So I will open up this folder and I will save the file name is text tags.html. So it is necessary to put .html after your file name. So I will click on save, and our HTML file is saved there. Now we will use Visual Studio Code, and it will help us to write HTML code. So if you press exclamation marks, you can see that it will provide you a drop down list. In this list you just need to press enter, and it will give you the basic structure of the HTML. Now let me describe what it means. So the doc type HTML means this document is HTML document. After that it is saying HTML length English. It means this HTML file is written in English language. After that, character set is UTF-8. So we will talk about them later. So we will talk about all the meta tags in the upcoming videos. Now our website title is document. Here we will name the title as text tags. After that, what we can do, we can save this file by pressing Ctrl S. If you are on Mac, you will press Command S, and then we need to go in our folder, and here you can see text tags.html file. Just double click on this and your file will be opened. Now you can see that it is just showing us the title that we have written, text tags. Now let's talk about the HTML tags which are specifically related to the text elements. Now the first tag that we have is H1 tag. So we have heading tags in HTML. So we have 6 heading tags in HTML. Now let's talk about the H1 tag first. So if you type H1 and then close the first tag, Visual Studio Code will automatically add an end tag with that. So let me zoom it a little bit so you can see clearly. Now I will write heading 1 inside the tag. It means on the website or web page you can see this tag. This is your tag and this is your content in the tag. Now let me press Ctrl S. For the Mac you need to press Command S. Then we will go back on the browser, and here you need to press F5 or you can click on this refresh button. You can see heading 1 is written on the first line. Now this is heading 1. Now let's talk about the other heading tags. Now let me copy this for 6 times After that, what I will do, I will just change the name of the tags. We have 6 heading tags: H1, H2, H3, H4, H5 and H6. We need to close them with the same order. Now what I will do, I will save this file, I will go back in the browser and I will click on this refresh button. You can see that all the headings are printed there. So the main point that you need to note is that H1 is the biggest heading in HTML. After that we have H2, then H3, and after H1, H2 will be smaller than it, and H3 will be smaller than H2, and so on and so forth. So these are the heading tags. After that we have another tag which is known as paragraph tag. So here we will type P, stands for paragraph tag. So let's write a random text there. So Visual Studio Code will provide us a random text. So we need to write lorem, and after that you need to write the number, how many words you want. So for now I will say 100 words and I will press enter. It will give me 100 random words. So I will go back in the browser, I will press F5. You can see we got 100 random words. But the main thing that this text is written in P tag. So whenever you write a paragraph, usually we write the paragraph in the P tag. Now let's talk about the attributes of these tags. So H1 tag or heading tags has an attribute called align. So you can say align is equal to center. If I go back and if I press F5, you can see the heading 1 is centered now. You can set any alignment. You can say align is equal to right. If you go back and you can see it is on the right side. So for the left alignment we don't need to say it because by default every text is aligned left. Okay, so let's talk about the attributes of paragraph tag. Paragraph tag has the same attribute like align, so we can apply the align attribute on the paragraph as well. So if I say align center, if I go back on the browser, if I press F5 there, you can see the text is aligned center. Now I can say align right, so this text will be on the right side. You can say align left. Okay, now the text will be start from the left side and it will go towards the right side. Now we have another alignment. By default we get this left alignment. So you can see that in the left alignment this will be equal to the left hand side. But here you can see these spaces looks ugly. So to remove these spaces we have another alignment which is justify. If you say alignment justify, your text will be justify for both sides. So this is the alignment for the P tag. Now let's go down. In here let's talk about the other tags. Another thing that you need to know, if I write this is a text without the tag, now if I refresh this you can see it is on this next line. But if I write another text on the next line, this is another text without the tag, then this tag will be on the same line. So if I refresh this, you can see this tag is also on the same line with this tag. Now why actually this happened? Because these heading tags and the paragraph tags by default ends the line. So whenever you add another paragraph tag, it will be on the next line. But if you just enter simple text without the tag, it will not end the line. So you need to do it by yourself. So you can use BR tag. Again, the BR tag is a self-closing tag, so you don't need to close it. Now if I go back, if I press F5, you can see this is now shifted on the next line. You can paste as much BR tag as you want. So if I save this file, if I go back, if I press F5, you can see if you enter one break tag, it will skip one line. If you enter two break tag, then it will skip two lines, and so on and so forth. So I will remove these break tags. I will just add one break tag. After that, I want to clear this thing, and after that we will talk about the other tags. Now let's talk about the other text. which is used to style the text. Now we have a tag called bold. Now we can bold any text. Let's say I will say Alpha Technology started a new course which is web designing course for beginners. Okay, now actually if I go back and if I save and if I refresh the page, you will see this text right there. Now what I want that this Alpha Technology should be bold. Okay, so what I will do, I will go here, I will cut this text and I will add a B tag there. In the B tag I will paste Alpha Technology. B tag stands for bold. So if I go back and if I press F5, you can see Alpha Technology is a bit bold compared to other text. So this is the bold tag. After that, let's say you want an underlined text. So for that you need to use a tag called U tag. U tag stands for underline. So whatever you write inside the tag style will apply on that text. If I go back and if I press F5, you can see web designing course for beginners is underlined. Okay, let's move on. Let's add a break tag there, or you can use P tag for the explanation. I am using break tag right there. Now what I will do, I will add another thing. So I will say Abdullah Anwar is the founder of Alpha Technology. Okay, so now what I want that this text should be bold. So I will type the Abdullah Anwar in B tag, and then I also want this should be italic. So here I will put I and I will close the I tag right here. Now if I go back, you can see Abdullah Anwar is bold text, but it's also an italic text. So you can use a tag inside another tag. The main thing is that you need to take care about the order. So if you are putting a B tag there and inside the B tag you are putting I tag, so you need to close first your I tag and then the B tag. So this tag now will known as nested tag. Now let's go down, let's put a break tag right there. Now let's talk about the other tags. Now here I will say this course is 200, so I will say $200, and here I will say $00. Now actually I want that the text should look like this course is, and on the $200 there will be a strike through, a line on the $200. It means we are offering this course in $0. Okay, instead of $200 we are offering this course in $0. So what I will do, so let me show you how it look like. So this will look like this. So what I will do, I will go there and I will add a del tag there. Okay, and I will put this $200 in the del tag. Now if I save this and if I go back on the browser, if I refresh it, you can see $200 has a line on the text. Okay, now what you can do, there is another tag which will do the same thing. Instead of del tag you can add strike tag there. So you will say strike, and here you need to close the strike tag. If I go back, you can see both are working in the same manners. Now what is the difference between them? The strike tag is bit newer version and the del tag is bit older version. So you can use a strike tag. I highly prefer to use a strike tag. Now let's go down, and here what I will do, I will add some more tags that are related to text. Now let's say we want to write the formula for the water. So I will say formula of the water is, and here I need to say H2O. This is the water formula. So if I save this, if I go back, if I press F5, you can see formula of the water is H2O, but the 2 should be in the base. So it's not look like a formula. So what I will do, so we can put this in another tag which is known as sub tag. So you can put the 2 in sub tag. It means whatever text you will put in the sub tag will be in the base. So if I refresh this, you can see 2 become in the base. Okay. So sub tag means subscript. After that, if you don't want to write the tag by yourself, you can just type the name of the tag and hit enter. Visual Studio Code will auto complete the tag for you. But as a beginner, I highly recommend you to write the code because it helps you to remember the code for a long time. Now after that, what I want to show you, I want to show you a superscript tag. Now let's say we want to say 5 square is equal to 25. Now if I save this and if I go on the browser, you can see it is look like 52 is equal to 25. But we want that it should say 5 square. So for that we will put a super tag and we will put 2 in the super tag. If I go back and refresh this page, you can say 5 square is equal to 25. So this is superscript tag. Now I want to clear all these tags and I want to show you another tag which is used for the text. But this tag is an older tag, but it's a part of HTML, so that's why I am teaching you this tag as well. Now we have a tag which is known as font tag. In the font tag you can type your text. So let's add a random text there. So I will say lorem 100. So if I go back on the browser, if I refresh the page, you will say this is a random text which is inside your font tag. Now what font tag give us? Font tag has some attributes. So it has an attribute called size. You can put a size from 1. So if I refresh it, this is the one size. And the size is from 1 to 7. The largest size will be 7. If I refresh this, you can see the text become bigger. After that, I will make the size as 5. After that, we have another attribute which is color. You can change the color of the text. So you can change the color, like you can say blue. And if I go back and refresh the page, the font color become blue. And the text size is also become a bit smaller because I have changed the size from 7 to 5. Okay. After that, the font tag has another attribute which is known as face. In the face attribute, you can type the name of any font family or font face and your text will be changed. Now here let's write Arial. Arial is a name of font style or font family. If I go back and if I refresh this, you can see the text is changed a bit. After that we have another font family which is Calibri. So if you write Calibri and if you go back on the browser, if you refresh it, you can see it is changed again. So we have different type of font families. You can Google them and you can write any font family that you want in your HTML file. Okay. Another thing is that if you want to make this text center, you can't say a line is equal to center. Why? If you go back, if I refresh it, you can see it's nothing happening there. So another thing that you can do, you can put a p tag there. So you can say p tag, and here you can say a line is equal to, in the double quotes you will put center, and you will close your p tag before closing your font tag. So we will close the p tag right here. If I go back on the browser, if I refresh it, you can see the text become in the center. Now we have another alternative way. The other way is that you can remove the p tag and there is another tag which is known as the center tag. You can put center tag here and you can put anything inside the center tag. Now the difference between making the text using p tag center or using the center tag is that if you use center tag, whatever you type or whatever content will be inside the center tag will be aligned center. It may be an image, a video or anything. It will be centered. But in the p tag you can only center the text. Now if I save this, if I go back and refresh it, you can see that its center, and it's go a bit at the top because p tag is a paragraph tag and it has a bit padding there, but center tag is not a paragraph tag, it's don't have any padding there. So these are some tags which are related to the text and text styling in the HTML. In the upcoming videos, we will explore more tags of HTML. Welcome back everyone, my name is Abdullah Gori from Alpha Technology, and in this video we will talk about how to create list in HTML. In HTML we have two type of list, order list and unordered list. So now in this example we will see that how we can create order list and unordered list, and we will also see why do we actually need to create a list. So if you are new on this channel, do subscribe our channel, press the bell icon so you get notification whenever we upload a new video to our channel. Now let's see an example and let's see why we actually need to use list tag. So let's say I have a website and I am writing a blog and I want to show the list of my favorite fruits to my user. Now I will say my favorite fruits, and here I will name my favorite fruits. So I will say apple, mango, banana, orange, pineapple. So now let's see the output of this page. So I will save this file, I will go back and I will press F5. So you can see the fruit name, my favorite fruit, apple, mango, banana, orange are on the same line. So how we ignore to make them on different lines? So let's say I will put this tag, this text in S2 tag. Okay, so if I go back and if I refresh it, so it's look good, but the remaining are not looking great. So what I will do, I will put them in p tag. So I have added all the list elements in p tag. Now if I go back and if I refresh this page, you can see it's look a bit fine now. So my favorite fruits, apple, mango, banana, orange, pineapple. But whenever we talk about good formatting, it's not looks like a good formatting. So it should be it should have a bit indent there or bit padding or margin there, then it should have a dot or numbers, so we can say that this is belongs to my favorite fruits title. Now what we can do, we can use the list tag for HTML. Now what I will do here, I will say h2 tag. In the h2 I will say my favorite fruits. Okay, if I refresh and go back, you will only see my favorite fruits there. Okay, I will come down and I will use the list tag that HTML provide us. Now there are two types of tag. First we will see the example of unordered list. So we will say ul. So ul is a tag. We will come down in the ul and here we will say li. ul stands for unordered list, li stands for list item. So here we will add our item like apple, then we will copy this 3 to 4 times and here we will say mango, banana, pineapple, orange. Okay, so I will go back and if I refresh this, you can see it's looking great. So you got my favorite fruits and in the fruits you got a list there. Okay, another thing is that you can change the style or these dots or these bullets styles. So how do you change the bullets style? So here you will say type is equal to square. So if I save this and if I go here, if I refresh it, you can see that if I zoom it, so you can see it become a square. If I say here circle, it will become a circle. Circle means it will not be filled inside. So if I cut this thing, it by default become a bullet there. Okay. So you can use these list text to make this sort of list. Now let's talk about the other one. So I will add this here. Now let's talk about the other list, where and why we use the other one list. Now let's say sometimes we need a ranking system, okay, like let's say we have a S2, in the heading will say top 3 programming languages, or let's say top 5 programming languages, okay. So we will come down, and here we need to use OL, because whenever we use OL, it means we are writing a list in which the order matters. In unordered list, the order does not matter, but if the order matters, you will use OL list. And here we will type the items, so we will say li, and here I will say Python the number 1. I will copy paste them 5 times. So you can see you can press Ctrl C and then Ctrl V, it will copy and paste it. So after Python we have JavaScript, then we have Java, then we have C or C++, then we can say we have Go, okay. Now if I go back, if I make it zoom default and if I refresh it, you can see top 5 programming languages, and you can see there are numbers. Python is number 1, then JavaScript, Java, C++, and Go language, okay. Now after that you can also change the type of order list. You can say type is equal to, you can say A there. So if you say capital A, the type will be capital A, B, C, D, and so on. If you say small a, it will be in small a. If you say I, it will be in small Roman I. If you say capital I, it will be in Roman, okay. So I will say here 1, it will be in by default. So that's how you will use order list and unordered list in your web page. Whenever you want to create this sort of list, you will use whether OL or UL. If the order is matter in your list, then you will use ordered list, which is OL. If the order is not matter in your list, then you will use UL. Welcome back everyone, my name is Abdullah Gori from Alpha Technology, and in this video we will see how we can add multimedia files to our web page. In this video I will show you how you can add images, audios and videos to your web page, and in this video we will also talk about relative and absolute path in HTML. So without any further delay, let's start our video. So if you are new on this channel, do subscribe our channel and press the bell icon so you get notification whenever we upload any new video to our channel. So let's start our video. First of all, we need to create an HTML file. So we'll go to file and new file, and then we will save this file. I will go on my folder web designing course, and I will open up this folder, and here I will name this file as multimedia.html. So I will click on save. Because I have saved already another multimedia.html file, so it is asking to replace this file. I will say yes, and here we have created our multimedia.html file. Now let's use Visual Studio Code IDE to get the basic code. So I will add exclamation mark and hit enter. It will provide us the basic HTML code. Now what I will do, I will just name the title as multimedia files. I will save this file and I will open up the browser, and here you can see it is only printing multimedia files. Let's say first we want to add an image to our web page. Now let's add a title of the image. So here I will say web designing course for beginners, and I will save this file. I will go to on browser, and here I will press F5, so it will show the title or the heading 1. Because I have zoomed it a little bit, so that's why the text is a bit more bigger. So here what I will do, I will use an image tag to add an image there. So what we need to do, we just need to type image there and hit enter, and it will give us the image tag and there are two attributes that we need to fill. The first attribute is SRC, stands for source. So here we need to specify which is the image source. So here what we need to do, we need to go back on our web designing course folder, and here we need to see the name of the image. So here the name of the image is first page, and what else you need to care about, you need to care about the extension. So you can right click on this and click on properties, and here you can see the extension of this file is .jpg. So I will click on OK, and here you can also see the extension at jpg. So what I will do, I will go here and I will say first page .jpg. So this is our image name. Now what is alt stand for? Alt stands for alternative. So we provide this attribute. Let's say if our image is not loaded because of the low internet connection or any other reasons, so this text will be shown on the web page. So here what I will say web designing. Okay, so I will save this file, I will go back on the browser, I will click on refresh. So you can see there we have our image right there. Now the image is a bit bigger, so we can control the height and width of the image by using the attribute width and height. So here we can say width, and let's say width is 800, and we can also specify the height. Let's say height is 500. I will save this file, I will go back on the browser, I will click on refresh. You can see that the image is adjusted according to the attributes that we have provided. So I will make this as default, and I will zoom it a little bit, and here I will go back, I will say width is okay 800, but height should be 300. Now if I refresh this, you can see the image is changed. So we will make it 400 by 200. We'll go back on the browser and refresh this page. So this is our image. Now let's talk about the other multimedia files. Now let's say we want to add a video there. So how do we add a video? So let's add a title for the video. It's not necessary to add the title, but for the simplicity I am adding the title as well. So here I will say web designing course trailer. Okay, so after that I will go down, and let me show you the output first. So the output will look like this. So it's only printing web designing course trailer. Now here I will add a video tag, so I need to say video, and it will provide the same SRC attribute. Now in the SRC attribute we need to add the name of the video. So I will go here, what I will do, I will click on this and I will press F2, and I will copy the name, and I will go back in the IDE and paste the name here. Why I have copied and pasted? Because maybe we can make mistake in writing the name, so it's better to copy and paste the name. After that we need to add the extension at .mp4. I will save this. Now why I added the extension .mp4? Because this file is mp4 file, or you can check the extension by right click and go to properties, and here you will find the extension. So I will say OK. I will go back in the IDE, I will save this thing, I will go back on the browser, I will refresh this, and you can see a video is also added there. Now there is nothing on the video, so video is not playing, and the size is a bit bigger. So let's adjust the size of the video first. So I will say width is equal to 400, and the height is equal to 250. I will save this, I will click on refresh, and you can see it is now look good. So what I will do, I will make it little bit zoom. Okay, so here we have added the video, but the video is not playable right now. So what we can do here, we can add another attribute. The attribute name is controls. So if you say controls, if you go back on the browser, if you click on refresh or press F5, you can see the controls are there. Now if you click on this link,
would you like to
it will play the video.
Highly paid professional web designer?
Okay, So this is the trailer video of our web designing course for beginners.
Welcome to web designing course for beginners.
You can adjust the volume of the video. You can maximize it.
2020. So what you will
And
learn in
you
this
can
course? In this
adjust
course, you will
the
learn HTML.
length of the video. So where you can navigate on any part of the video.
$50,000 per year.
There is
You can
picture
earn
in
more
video
than $50,000
option.
per year
So
by
these
becoming
options
a
are
pro in web
given
design.
by the
Now you
control
are thinking,
attribute.
how do I get this
So
course?
now let's go back, and here what I will do, I will add an audio there. So to add the audio, let me add a heading one tag because it will differentiate so you can see easily what is going on. So here I will say relaxing music. So let's add a music out there. To add the music, we need to use audio tag, and in the audio tag we need to specify the name and path of the audio file. So I will go on the folder, and here you can see this is the name of the file. I will press F2 and I will copy the file name. I will go back, and here I will paste the name, and at the end I will say .mp3 because this is mp3 file. Okay, I will save this file and I will go back on the browser. I will refresh it, and you can see it is only printing relaxing music. So what we need to do, we need to go back on the IDE. Here we need to add another attribute, which is controls. If I save this file, go back on the browser, if I press F5, you can see the music is also added right there. You can play the music, you can change the timer, or you can make it forward or backward. It's totally your choice. So that's how you can add a music file there. You can adjust the volume as well, and you can do a lot more things. Now that's how you can add audio, images and videos to your web page. But now let's say we have another folder which is images, and this first image is inside our images folder. So if I go back on the browser, if I press F5, you can see the image is not showing here because this image is not available on the path that we have added there, and you can see the alternative text is visible now. And now let's go back how we can add the path there. Now the relative path will look like, you need to say images / first page.jpg. Now it means we are going in the images folder. Inside the images folder we have first page.jpg file. If I save this, if I go back, if I press F5, you will get the image back there. So this is a relative path. It means the path will be relative to your HTML file. So now that's all about the relative path. Now let's talk about the absolute path. In the absolute path, you need to define the absolute path of the image where it is existing on your computer. So here we will go back in the images folder. I will click on this address bar, and you can see this is the absolute path of this image. So the path is C, then users, Abdullah, desktop, web designing. So C is your local disk, then it has a users folder, then it has Abdullah folder, then desktop, and then web designing course folder. In the web designing course we have images folder, and then we have this image right there. Now we need to specify this whole path. Now how do we specify this whole path? I will cut this thing, and here I will say C : /. So we need to put a forward slash because we want to go forward. So here we'll say users / Abdullah / desktop / and here we need to specify the folder name. The folder name is web designing course. So let me copy this folder name. So I will go here, I will paste this folder name / images / first page.jpg. If I save this file, and if I go back on the browser, if I refresh it, you can see the file is there. Okay, so this is the absolute path. In the absolute path, you need to specify the whole path where your file or images is existing. Okay, so that's all about the images, audios and videos and relative and absolute path in HTML. Welcome back everyone, my name is Abdullah Gori from Alpha Technology, and in this video we will talk about anchor tag in HTML. In this video we will learn how we can add a link to another web page, so whenever user click on that link, user will be navigated to that web page. And in this video we will also see how we can add the anchor tag on an image, so whenever user click on that image, the image will be maximized. So you can do the same thing with the video as well. If you are new on this channel, do subscribe our channel and press the bell icon to get notification whenever we upload any new video to our channel. Now let's start. First of all, we need to create a new file. So we'll click on new file and then new file. I will save this file in our web designing course folder, and I will name this file as anchor.html. And here I will add an exclamation mark and hit enter. It will provide us the basic code of the HTML. Now I will replace the title and I will say this is anchor tag, and I will save this file. I will go back in the folder and I will open up this anchor file. So you can see this file is empty, but we only have the anchor tag as a title. Now we have some files there like index.html, in which we have list that we have learned in the previous lectures. And we have another file which is text.html, in which we have a random text. Now I will link these two web pages to this web page. Now let's go back in the IDE, and here what I will do, I will add a tag which is anchor tag. If you type A and hit enter, it will auto complete this A tag. Now in the hyper reference, we need to specify the address of the web page. Now our web page is in the same folder, so we don't need to specify the whole path. We just need to add the index.html name. So I will go back in the IDE, and here I will say index.html, and here I will add the text that user will see. Now we can add any text, so I will say click to see the list. I will save this file. I will go back in the browser, I will refresh it, and here you can see this is the link. Now whenever I click on this link, I will navigate it to the page which is Alpha Technology. The title of the page is Alpha Technology, and this is the page where we have two lists, which is order list. One is this is order list, and we have this is unordered list. Now I will go back, and here let's try to add another list. So I will add a break tag there, so it will add the next list on the next line, and here I will add a tag and then hyper reference, and here I will add text.html. Now here I will say random text. I will save this file. I will go back in the browser, refresh it. You can see this is random text. When I click on this, it will open up the random text file which is text.html. If I go back and if I click on this file, it will open up the index.html file in which we have two lists. That's how you can add the link to another web page. Now let's say we want to add a link to google.com or youtube.com. So how do we do that? So let's go back in the IDE. Here I will add a break tag. Now let's add a link to youtube.com. So here we need to specify the address of YouTube. So I will say https://www.youtube.com, and here in the text I will say YouTube. So this text will be displayed to the user. If I go back and refresh this page, it will show this text there, and if I click on this link, it will open up youtube.com. So that's how you can add the link to another YouTube page or any website. Now let's talk about how we can add an image on which we click and it will maximize. Now let's add an image first. So I will add a break tag. Here I will add image. If you don't know about how to add the image, you can watch my tutorial on how to add audio, video or image in HTML page. So now I will say image, and in the src I will specify the source of the image. So I have the image in our images folder. The image name is firstpage.html. I will say images. So I will go in images folder /firstpage.jpg. In the alternative text I will say first page. Now I will save this file, and here this text will be displayed when this image is not loaded. If I save this file, I will go back in the browser, I will refresh it. You can say this is our image. I will go back and I will set the width and height by using width and height attribute. I will say width is equal to 400, height is equal to 250. If I go back and refresh this, this is our image. Now you can see the cursor is look like this, but we want to make this cursor as pointer, and when we click on this, it will maximize. Now what we can do, we can cut this image, Control X, and we can add a hyperlink there. We can say A. In the hyperlink, we will specify the name of the file. So I will say images slash firstpage.jpg. In the hyperlink, I will add the image. I will save this file. I will go back in the browser. If I refresh it, now you can see the cursor become pointer now. If I click on this, it will maximize. So that's how you can add an image which will maximize when you click on that image. Now another thing, anchor tag have another attribute which is download. So if you specify the download attribute in some browser, if you refresh this, if you click on this file, it will be download. But some browser supports this thing and some browser does not support this thing. Another thing is that if you want to specify the name of the file, you can add the file name here. You can say first page. So whenever this file will be downloaded, the name of the file will be first page. So if I go on browser, if I refresh this, click on this file, this will be not downloaded because this browser doesn't support that, but some browser supports this thing. So whenever user click on this image, it will be downloaded. Now that's how you will use anchor tag in HTML. Welcome back everyone, my name is Abdullah Ghori from Alpha Technology, and this is part 2 of anchor tag and links in HTML. So previously I have created a video on anchor tag. If you haven't watched that video, I will highly recommend you to watch this video as well, so you can get deep understanding of links in HTML. You can understand how they work, what is relative and absolute path in HTML, and all these things. In this video, we will explore more about links in HTML. We will see how different attributes of links work and how we can add the titles and tooltips on the links. So if you are new on this channel, do subscribe our channel and press the bell icon so you get notification whenever we upload any new video to our channel. Now let's open up the IDE. So first of all, I will create a new file. So I will click on file and new file, and I will save this file in my web designing course folder. So this is our web designing course folder, and I will name this as links.html. I will save this file, and here I will add exclamation mark. I will hit enter, and you can see we got the basic structure of HTML. So here I will just change the title and I will say links in HTML. Okay, I will save this file. I will go back in our web designing course folder, and here I will open up this links.html, and this is the output of our link.html. So we just have links in HTML as a title. Now what I will do, I will go back in the IDE, and here we will start creating links. Now the first link that we want to create a link on YouTube. So here I will say A, and when you press A and hit enter, it will autocomplete the anchor tag, and here you will specify the path. Now here we are talking about the absolute path. Okay, so for the absolute path you will say https:// If you don't know how to get this path, just go here and type youtube.com, and when you click on this, you will get this is the actual path of YouTube. So I will copy this path, I will go back in the IDE, and here I will paste this path. So this is the actual path of YouTube. Now here I will say YouTube. Okay, I will save this file. I will go back in the browser and refresh this, and I will close this thing. So you can see YouTube is written right there. Now let's click on this YouTube and see what we get. So it's opening the YouTube page. Okay, Now let's go back, and here what I want to show you some attributes of anchor tag. Now we have an attribute called target. In the target we can pass underscore self. This is the default value of the target. So if I save this and if I go back in the browser, if I refresh it, if I click on YouTube, this will open up website in the same window. But if I go back and here if I change the underscore self by underscore blank, so if I change it to blank and if I save this file, if I go back here, if I refresh it, now if I click on this, you can see automatically it's open it in a new tab. So if you want to open your link or website on another tab, what you need to do, you need to just provide the target attribute, and in the target attribute you just need to type the value as underscore blank. So it will open up your new site in another new tab of your Chrome browser or any browser that you are using. Now after that, let's say you want to open a website on an image. Okay, so let's go here. So here we have a image which is create your first HTML page, I think. So here we have a picture which is creating your first web page. So what I will do, I will add a link on this image. So I will go here and here I will add a anchor tag, and here first we will go inside the anchor tag and here we will add the image. Now the src will be, now because we are in the web designing course folder, here we have the links.html file. We will go in the images and then images, in the images we have first page.jpg. Now I will go back here. So we need to do the same thing right here. So we'll say we want to go in images slash first page.jpg. If you don't know about how to add the images and what are the alter tag and alter attribute, you can watch my tutorial on how to add images and multimedia files in your HTML page. Now here alter text I will say first page. I will save this file. If I go in the browser, if I refresh it, you can see this is our image. So if I go back in the IDE, I want to adjust the size. So I will say width is equal to 400, height is equal to 250. If I refresh it, now it's become good. Now I will erase this thing. I don't want this thing. Now I will save this file and I will go back here. Okay, now what I want to do, whenever anyone clicks on this image, it will navigate to my video which is creating your first web page. Now let's go on YouTube, and here this is our how to make a website video. So what I will do, I will just copy the address of this video. I will say Ctrl C, then I will close this thing. I will go in the IDE and in the hyper reference I will paste the address right there, and I will say target, and I want to open it in a blank or a new tab. So I will save this file, I will refresh it. Now whenever user click on this image, it will be navigated to YouTube and my video will be there, so user can watch my video. So that's how you can add a link to a video or any website on a image. Okay, now whenever user hover on this image, he will not see anything, but we want that whenever user hover on our image, he will see something. So here we can add a title attribute. So let me go down. Here I will say title, and here I will say that watch how to create a HTML page. So I will save this file. If I go back in the browser, if I hover on the image, I will not see anything, but if I refresh it, if I hover on this, you can see we can see a tooltip. This thing is known as tooltip. So now user can understand when I click on this image what I will see. Okay, so you can add these sort of things as well. So after that, I want to show you another interesting thing. So you can add a link to get a mail from someone. Now how do you add the link? So you say a hyperlink. In the hyperlink you will say mail to, and here you will specify the email address where we want to mail. So here I will say abdullah.bsit2k19 gmail.com, and here I will say mail me. I will save this file. I will go back in the browser. If I refresh it, so here you can see mail me. If I click on this, you can see my mailbox will open up and the address will be in the mailbox, and user can directly send a mail to the address that we have specified right here. So whenever user click on this mail me, he will get a mailbox in which the address will be typed. Okay, so user don't need to type your email address, the address will be automatically typed right there. Okay, now the last thing that I want to show you is that how you can add the bookmarks in a HTML page. So for that I will remove this thing. So we have an empty page now. I will go back in the browser and I refresh it. Now we have an empty page right there. So now I will show you how you can add a bookmarks and what are the bookmarks and how you can add them. So first of all, let me add a h1 tag, and here I will say mark 1. I just want to show you that how actually bookmarks works. And here I will add a p tag, and in the p tag I will say lorem and 50. So I will add 50 words right there. Okay, now after this I will copy these two and I will paste it right here, then again. So we have mark 1, then we have mark 2, 3, 4 and 5. Now we have 5 marks out there. If I go back and refresh it, now you can see we have 5 marks, but we want to add more so you can understand better. I will add 8 marks right there. So I will say 6, 7 and 8. Now how many marks we have? We have 8 marks. Okay, now here what we will do, we will add a bookmark to any particular mark. Now what if we want to add a link there? Whenever user click on this link, it will automatically navigate to 7th mark. So here we will go on the 7th mark, and here I will add a ID, and I will say ID equal to mark 7. You can put any name. Now what is ID? We will talk about the ID selector and class selector in the upcoming class when we learn CSS. But for now you can assume, or you can say that the ID is used to uniquely identify any particular HTML element. Now after adding the ID here, I will go back at the top, and here I will add a hyperlink. So here I will say hash mark 7. So I will use the ID, but we also use the hash symbol. This is used to target any ID. So here I will say go to mark 7. I will save this file. I will go back and refresh it. Now you can see we have mark 7. So if I click on this, you can see we go automatically to this marks, but there are less marks. So what I will do, I will copy paste them so you can see how actually it works. Now if I if I click on this, you can see the mark 7 is right there. So that's how you can add bookmarks in your one single HTML page. Now this is very useful when you have a long HTML page, so you want to add bookmarks there. With the help of CSS and JavaScript, we can add the animation, so it will scroll down a bit slowly so user can understand it is scrolling down. But for the pure HTML, you can add a bookmark like this. So that's how you can add bookmarks. You can add a target, and you can use mail too. Welcome back everyone, my name is Abdullah Gori from Alpha Technology, and in this video we will talk about tables in HTML. In this video I will show you how you can create tables in HTML. I will explain you everything step by step, and at the last we will also create a result sheet using these tables. So if you are new on this channel, do subscribe our channel and press the bell icon so you get notification whenever we upload any new video to our channel. So without any further delay, let's start our video. So first of all, we will create a new file. So I will click on file, then new file, and I will save this file in our web designing course folder. So this is our web designing course folder, and here I will name this file as table.html. I will save this file, and we have our tables.html file right there. I will add an exclamation mark and hit enter. It will give us the basic code of HTML. So I just change the title here. I will say table in HTML. I will save this file And what I will do, I will go back in the folder which is web designing course, and I will open up the table.html file. Now this is our table.html file. We just have the title as table in HTML. Now I will go back in the IDE, and here we will start creating our first table. So to create the table, we need to use our table tag. So here we'll say table, and when I close this tag, it will auto close the tag because we are using Visual Studio Code IDE. Or there is another alternative. You can only type table and hit enter. It will automatically open and close the tag for you. Now here we have created our first table. Now if I save this file, if I go back in the browser, if I refresh it, you can't see anything right there. Now let's say, how do we see the table? Now to see the table, we need to add a border. So we'll say border is equal to 1. If I save this file, if I go back in the browser, if I refresh it, you can see a little dot out there. So if I zoom it, so this is our table for now. Now let's make this table a bit bigger. So what we can do here, we can specify the width and height of the table. So we can say width is equal to 500, height is equal to 400. If I save this file, if I go back in the browser, if I refresh it, you can see we have a table right there. So now in the table we have rows and columns. Now how do we add the rows and columns? Now to add rows and columns, we will go down inside the table tag, and in the table tag we will start creating our rows. For the rows we have a tag called tr. So we'll say tr and hit enter. It will add a tr tag right there. TR stands for table row. So in the TR tag, we can specify the table column. So for the table column, we have TD, it stands for table column. So here I will say column 1. I will copy and paste this, and I will say column 2. If I save this file, if I go back in the browser, if I refresh it, you can see we have 2 columns out there. Okay. Now you can create as much column as you want. So let's say we want to create 5 columns in the table. If I save this file, if I go back in the browser, if I refresh it, you can see we have 5 columns. Now let's try to add the rows. To add the rows, what I will do, I will just copy this row, or you can write it by your own. I will paste it right here. So we will have 2 rows, but actually I want 3 rows. If I save this file, if I go back in the browser, if I refresh it, you can see we have 3 rows and 5 columns in our table. Okay, so that's how we can add rows and column in our table. Now let's talk about another attribute. We have another attribute which is known as table header. So let's create a table header at the top of these 2 rows. Okay, so now what I will do, I will create a tr first, because inside the tr we can create any cell or any column, but this time I will use th tag, stands for table header. Okay, now you will see the difference in a minute. So here I will say first, I will copy this 5 times, I will say second. So I just want to change the names so you can differentiate. I will say third, I will say fourth, I will say fifth. I will save this file. If I go back, if I refresh it, can you see the difference? The 2 things are different in the td tag and th tag. The first thing is that the text is centered, but here you can see the text is left aligned, but here the text is centered. Another thing is that this text is little bit bold. So whenever you use th, it will automatically make your text as center, and it will automatically make your text as bold. So that's the benefit of using th. Now let's talk about the other things. Okay, now let's say we want to combine 2 or more than 2 columns. How do we do that? So here let's say we want to combine the last 2 columns. Okay, so here we'll say td, and in this td I will say combined columns. Okay, I will save this file. I will go back in the browser. If I refresh it, you can see this thing, this combined column but there is an empty space because this space is reserved for another column. Now how do we give the space, the whole space, to this one single column? For that we use a attribute which is call span. So here we'll say call span 2. It means it will span in 2 columns. So if I go back and if I refresh it, you can see this column is spanning in 2 columns. Okay, so that's how our column span work. So let's say we want to span this column, so we want only one column in this whole row. So what I will do, I will go here, I will cut all these columns, and here I will say call span 4. If I save this file, if I go back, if I refresh it, you can see we are spanning 4 columns, but actually we need to say 5. So if I refresh this now, you can see this one column is spanning now 5 columns, so it will reserve the space for 5 columns. Okay, so that's how we can span the columns. Okay, now what I will do, I will say it will reserve the columns for 2. So I will say column 1 right there, and here I will say column 4. So if I go and refresh this file, you can see this column is reserving the space of 4 columns. Okay, so that's how we can make a column which will reserve the space for multiple columns. Okay, now let's talk about how we can do this same thing with the rows. Now let's say we want that these 3 rows should be combined. So for that, what we can do, we can remove this thing, we can remove this first column as well, and here we can say row span, and here we can pass 3. So now if I go back, if I refresh it, now you can see it is reserving 3 rows. So row span used for reserving more than one row, so it can span multiple rows, and if you use call span, it will span multiple columns. Okay, now let's talk about the other attributes of the table tag. Now in the table we can specify cell padding. So if I say cell padding equal to 5, if I save this file, if I go back in the browser, if I refresh it, you can see this cell is getting 5 pixel padding. So let me go back, and here I will say cell padding for 20. So if I save this file, if I go back in the browser, now if I refresh this, you will see a difference between this line and this line. So if I save this, you can see they are a bit on the right side because they are getting a bit padding right there. Okay, so we can add padding in the cell. Okay, now after that we have another thing, so I will make this as 10. If I go back, refresh this page, you will see there is a padding of 10. After that we have cell spacing, so we'll say cell spacing is equal to 10. If I save this file, now if I refresh the page, you will see every cell has the spacing of 10 pixels, so you can add a cell spacing right there. Okay, now let's go back, and here let's talk about the other attributes. So here we can say border color is equal to red. If I save this file, if I refresh it, now you can see the border color become red. Okay, either you can put this in double quotes, it will work. So if I refresh this, you can see it is working right there. Now another thing that I want to show you, that you can say align center. If I save this file, you will see your table will be aligned centered. Okay, now another thing, you can set the color of the row. So here you can say BG color, it stands for background color, and you can say orange or any color name. If I save this file, if I refresh it, you can see the cells become orange. You can do the same thing right here. You can say BG stands for background color is equal to yellow. Okay, so we can add a BG color right here. So we can say BG color is equal to blue, and let's add a BG color right there as well. BG color is equal to green. I will save this file, I will refresh it. You can see all these rows have different color, so you can apply the BG color on any specific column as well. So if I say this column bg color will be different. So the row color is green, so let's make it red. So if I save this file, if I go back and refresh, now I can see it become red. Okay, because this attribute will have the more priority because it is more closed to this tag. Okay, now that's how you can make your table colorful. So we are adding the colors. Another thing is that you can add the color to your whole table as well. So you can say bg color is equal to gray. If I save this file, if I go back and refresh it, you can see your whole table is now become in gray. That's how you will use the tables. Now there is another thing, you can add a caption right there. So you can say caption, and here I will say learning how to create a table. If I save this, if I go back and refresh it, you can see this is the caption of your table, so user can understand why you are created this table. Okay, that's how you use the table. Now let's create a result sheet with the help of table. So what I will do, I will erase everything, I will save this file, I will go back and I will refresh it. Now we have nothing. Now here I will use the table tag, and inside the table tag I will add a caption, and I will say this is a results sheet. I will save this file, I will go back, if I refresh it, we just see result sheet. Now here I will say border is equal to 1 and border color is equal to gray. And other thing is that I want to specify the width is equal to 500 and height is equal to 400. I will save this file, I will go back. Now we have our table. Okay, another thing is that you can leave this thing, and if you leave this thing, your table will auto adjust. Now the first thing that we want to do, we want to create some rows and columns there. So I will say tr. In the tr, the first row will be our heading row. So here we'll say th. First of all, I will add a column which is roll number. After that, I will copy this thing for the name, obtain marks, total marks and results. So here I will say student name, and here I will say obtained marks, and here I will say the total marks, and after that I will say result. I will save this file, I will go back right here, I will refresh it, you can see it is auto adjusting now. Okay, now you can specify a bit padding there, so your text will look like good. So here I will go and I will say cell padding is equal to 5. I will save this file, go back and refresh it. Now the table looks fine. Okay, now we have this table right there. After that, what we want to add, we want to add the remaining rows for this table. Now what I will do, I will add a tr tag. Inside the tr tag, this time I will add a td because this will be a normal column. So here I will say roll number 1. I will copy this 5 times. Here I will say name is Puarasan and his obtained marks is, let's say we have total marks 1000, obtained marks is 800 and total marks is 1000 and result is pass. I will save this file, I will go back in the browser and refresh it. You can see this is our result. Okay, now what I will do, to add the more rows, we will copy this, I will paste it right here 5 times. So we have 5 students out there, and I will go back on the table. I will say a line is equal to center. We will make this center. Now it looks good. Now here what we can do, actually before copy pasting this, I want to make this student name column a bit wider. So here we can say width is equal to, let's say 200. So if I save and refresh it, you can see this column become wider now. Okay, now Visual Studio Code provide you a lot of flexibility. If you select this, and you can see everything is selected there. Okay, so first I will remove this thing. I will show you a trick. you will select this. Now everything is selected. You will press Ctrl F2. Now you can see cursor is right here, 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 and if I go down, on every fluorescent text we have a cursor. Now how we use this? We go back in the TD tag, we add a space, we say width is equal to 200. You can see for every row it is added. I will save this, I will go back in the browser, I will refresh it. Now you can see this is your table. Now quickly I will rename the data. So I will say this is 2, and he is not fluorescent, he is Mosh, and after that I will change his marks. I will say he has 900 marks. I will say third, and he will be Parvez Ali, and his marks will be 700. He is pass. And here I will say Farman Ali, and his marks will be 400. He will be fail. And after that we have the fifth student as well. So the fifth student name will be Masood Ali, and I will go there. I will say he has 450 marks and he is pass. Let's refresh it now, and we can see we have a beautiful result card there. Okay, now we can style this as well. So for the first row, what I will do, I will say the BG color is equal to gray. I will save this file, I will refresh it. Now the BG color become gray. Okay, so after that what we want to do, we want to highlight the failed student. So we will go back on the fourth row. For the first row we'll say BG color is equal to red. I will save this file, go back and refresh it. You can see the BG color is changed. Okay, because now we are not using CSS, so that's why we will not change it with the help of CSS. When we use CSS, we will make this sort of table very beautiful and interactive, so everyone will love that. For now we are just learning the basics, so that's why we just try to understand how table works in HTML. Now here we can go there and we can increase the border. So I will say border is 5. I will go back and refresh it. You can see border become 5. And if I say my border color is blue, it will look beautiful. Okay, you can play with these sort of colors, cell padding, cell spacing, col span and row span and everything, and it will be very good for you if you practice a lot, because the key of becoming a software engineer or web designer or developer is to do more and more practice, because if you do practice you can remember the code for a long time. Welcome back everyone, my name is Abdullah Gori from Alpha Technology, and in this video we will talk about forms in HTML. But hold on, do you know anything about forms? Do you have seen the forms before? Maybe your answer is yes, or maybe you say I don't seen any form before. But I am pretty sure that you must have seen any form before if you use any online platform like Facebook, Twitter, or any other social media platform. But maybe you don't know that this is the form. Now let me tell you what actually form is. Now let's say when you go on facebook.com, the first thing that you will see that they will say you log in or sign up. It means that you can log in your existing account or you can create a new one. So if you create your new account, you will see there they will ask you your first name, your last name, your email address, phone number, birth date, and so on. So these things can be handled with HTML forms. With the help of HTML form, we can create these input box and the different type of inputs, so user can enter his data and the data can be stored in the database. Now in this video we are not going to be talking about how we can store the data in the database. Instead of that, we will just focus on how we can create the forms in HTML. In this video I will show you almost all the input types that are available in HTML forms. So before we get started, make sure to subscribe our channel and press the bell icon so you get notification whenever I post a new video on my channel. Without any further delay, let's start writing code. So first of all, we need to create a new file. So I will go and save this file on desktop, in our web designing course folder, and I will name this file as forms.html. So we have created our form.html file. Let's get the basic HTML code right here, and I will name this title as HTML form. I will save this file. I will go back in the folder which is our web designing course, and I will open up this forms.html file, and you can see we just got the title as HTML form. Now let's start creating form. So to create a form, we have a tag called form. So if you type form there and hit enter, you will get the form. So there is an attribute called action. We will talk about it later. For now, we just focus on the simple form. Now we are inside the form. Now if I save this file and go back in the browser, if I refresh it, you will not see anything, because now we just mention a form tag. We haven't created any field in the form. Now let's start creating the form fields. Now the first field that we can create is first name. So we can type the text here. So this is just a simple text. If I go back and refresh it, you can see we got text right there. So I will zoom it so you can see easily. Now after the first name, we seen that we can have a box there in which we can type the data. So now to create this box, which is known as input box or input field, we can type the input tag, and then we can say type is equal to text. We just need to say this thing, and input is a self-closing tag, so we don't need to close this. After that, I will go back in the browser and I will refresh it. You can see we got an input field there, or we got an input box there. And not just that, we can also type here whatever text we want. Okay. Now after that, we also seen that maybe you can write the title of the input field on the left hand side, or maybe you want to type the title or the indicating text inside your input box. So how you can type this inside your input box? So whenever user click on it and start typing, your title will disappear. So now to achieve this thing, we can use a placeholder and we can say first name. And if I refresh it, you can see we got a first name title here. This is known as label. And if I type something, it will disappear. Okay. And not just that, you can also control the size of the input field. You can say 50 if you want. It will be a bit bigger. Okay. So I will stick with 20. I will refresh it and you can see this is our HTML input box. Okay. Now after that, what I want to add a break tag. So I will say BR and BR. So I will add two breaks tag, so they will be separated. After that, I want to add another input field, which is our last name. Now I just copy and paste it. I will say this is the last name, and here in the placeholder I will say last name. Okay. And the type remain text because we want to get the input as in text. So if I save and refresh here, you can see we got last name input box right here. Okay. Now after that, we want an email box. So we can copy this and paste it. We just need to change the last name with the email. And after that, we want to change this thing with the email. Okay. I will go back and refresh it. You can see we got email box. And don't worry about the alignment because we are not focusing on the styling. Instead, we are focusing on the HTML input types. So first we will learn them, and then I will also make a video in which we can create a beautiful and interactive form which will very stylish. Okay. Now another thing is that this HTML input will not be a type of text because email must contain the data like this, the email and @domainname.com. So it should like this. You can validate the input using JavaScript, but since we are not using JavaScript, but we can use the HTML5 attribute which is here. So we can say this is email. So now we just name this as email. Now it become an email right there. So whenever user submit this form, he must need to add a @ sign. Now let me add a button and I will show you how actually this work, and then we will continue. So I will say input and type is equal to submit. Okay, and if I save this file, if I go back, you can see we got a submit button. Okay, and we can change the submit text as well. So to change the text, we need to say value is equal to, we can say sign up. If I save this, go back and refresh, we got sign up. Okay, now the thing is that I said you that it must contain an email address. So if I add a text right there, if I click on sign up, you can see it is prompting us please include an @ in email. Okay, but if I remove this email and if I make it text, if I add any text and I will click on sign up, it will not prompt anything because now it's just a simple text. Okay, so we should make it email so we can only get the correct data. And if I refresh it now, if we add anything else, it will prompt up that you must need to add the @ sign because this is an email. Another thing is that if I add, let's say if I add the email address @gmail.com and if I click on sign up, you can see this form is submitting. Now we don't want that. We want that these fields must be filled, otherwise it will prompt a message. So to achieve this thing, we can add an attribute which is required here, and we can add a required attribute here and in the email address as well. So if I save this file and go back and refresh it, now if I click on this, you can see please fill out this field. Now all these fields are important and user must need to fill these fields to sign up. Okay, now let's move on. Now after that, we want to get the gender of the user. How do we get the gender? So we just say gender. Okay, so if I save and go back here, you can say we got gender and we can add break tag. So this will be look like this. Okay, now after the gender, we want to add the radio button. So after the gender, we want to add 3 radio buttons. So what are the radio buttons? Let me show you. So here I will say input, and if you put a colon there, if you say radio, it will automatically create a radio button for you. Okay, or you can type it by your own, input and then type equal to radio and then just that. Okay, now for now I will leave name as empty so I can show you what actually name means. Okay, after that I will say male. Okay, and what I will do, I will copy them, paste it again. So here we have male, female and other. Okay, I will save this file and go back. Now you can see we got a radio button right there. So okay, so user can select any of these. Now you can see user can also select all of these, but it's not a radio button because in radio button we can only select one thing. Now how can we make this? To make this, you just need to fill your name, and the thing is that the important thing is that your name should be same. So let's say I will say their gender, or you can put any text. I will copy this. The name equal to gender should be right here, and it should be name equal to gender, and at the last we also need to put gender here. If I save this and go back and refresh it, now you can see we can only select only one among them. Okay, now let's go in the IDE. Now after that, let's say we want to get the hobbies of the user. Okay, now to get the hobbies, we say here we'll type hobbies, and after that let me put some break tag so it will be separated. Here I will say input and type will be of checkbox, so I will say checkbox. Okay, now if I save this and go back in the browser, if I refresh it, you can see we got hobbies like this. Okay, now we can put anything like programming, you can put sports, programming, and designing for the web designers. Okay, so if I save this and refresh it, you can see we got all the hobbies. And whenever we use checkbox, it means user can select multiple values, but in the radio user can only select one. Okay, and for them user can select multiple as well. Okay, now let's say we want to add a country drop down list. So we want to add a list here on which user click, the drop down list will appear and select his country. So here I will say country, and after that let me put some break tag, and here you can see we just got country right there. Okay, now to add a drop down list we need to use the select tag. So we'll say select. For now you can leave this name and ID because this is used when we use JavaScript or CSS. For now we are not using them. Now here you can set your options. So you can say option and you can put any value, but since we are not using JavaScript, so it's not required there. But when you use JavaScript, you need to put the value that you want to send in the database. Okay, now here we can put Pakistan. So I will copy and paste it, and here we can put India, China, USA. So for now I am just adding 4 countries. You can add more, whatever amount you want. So if I go back and refresh it, you can see that we got a drop down list, and you can click on this and you will see all the countries that you have added. And let's say I want to select India right there. So if I click on India, it will be India. If I click on Pakistan, it will be Pakistan. Okay, so you can select your country. After that, let's say we want to add another thing. So let's say you want to disable something for the user. So you can disable any of the option as well. So you can use disabled attribute. Now if I refresh it, you can see Pakistan is disabled now. User can only select the countries among these 3. Okay, and let's remove this, and here I will add a option, and here I want to say select, I want to say country. After that I will save this file. Now here country is not a country, it's just a text. So we want to make it as label. So what we can do here, we can make it as disabled. So now it will be disabled, so no one can select this. And we also can make this selected. So if I save this and go back and refresh it, you can see country is selected now, but when user click here, user can't select it. User need to select among them. Okay, so that's how you can use this attribute as well. After that, we want to add a field called birth date. So I will say birth date. So I will add some BR tag here, and I will go and refresh it. You can see we got birth date there. Okay, or we can make this date of birth, which will be good, date of birth. If I go back and refresh it, you can say we got date of birth. Okay, now we want to add a date picker there. So whenever user want to select any date, he can select. So here we can say input, and in the type we need to say date. If I go back and refresh it, you can see we got date picker. So if user click on this, he will get a calendar like date picker. So user can pick any date, and see this is how beautiful and interactive date picker we got. So this thing we can only achieve in HTML5. Now since we are using HTML5, HTML is updated, so we can add a date picker like this. Now after the date picker, we can add a age there. So we can ask the user to enter his age, and let's add BR first. Sorry, BR tag first, and here you can use input type, and here you can say number. So if I save this and go back here, you can see now we got a number. So here you can add any number. So user now cannot type any text here. He can only select add the number. Okay. Another thing is that you can add age like this as well. So maybe your website policies have some age restrictions, so you can add like this as well. So you can say input and type, and now you can say range. Okay, now what happen when we say range? Let me add break tag first. If I go back here, you can see we got a range there. Okay, and here you can add min. So let's say minimum is 10 years and max is 100 years. So if I go back and save this, you can see we got a age picker. Okay, so now we are not seeing the actual age, we can see it with the help of JavaScript. So I just want to remove this because this is not necessary right here. And if I go back, we got like this. Okay, now after that, we want that user must need to add his profile picture. So we can say upload profile picture, and I will add input type file. I will save this, refresh it. You can see we got upload profile picture and it says choose file. For now no file is chosen, but if I click on this choose file, you can see we got this pop-up dialog box in which we can choose the file. Okay, now after that, let's say we want to get some comments from the user. So I can add a comment box right there. So I will say comments. Okay, for the comments we use text area. So we use a tag called text area. For now we can remove this name and ID. Okay, so we just save this, let's refresh it. So we got this thing right here. Okay, now after that I want to add break tag right there, and let's add a break tag before this so it will look like better. So that's how we got comment. Now you can maximize the columns, so you can say 50, and you can also control the rows. You can say 8. If I go back and refresh it, we got a wider comment box, so user can type his comments, and you can also use the placeholder here. You can say something about us. If I save this and go back and refresh, we got a placeholder right here. Okay, so that's all from this video. Hope you enjoyed this video. If you like this video, hit the like button. If you have any question or suggestion regarding this video or any other video, you can comment down below. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in the next video.